I received a series of emails lately. I can't remember right offhand the exact username, because I'm uploading a response to Jesus Freak right now, so I just don't want to go on there and try to find it. But something like Japanese leader. And anyways, he before I post this, I'll definitely put his name in the text, okay? But he made an asinine statement to me in response to one of my videos that, my video, Separate But Equal, or Separate's Not Equal, whichever one it is, but, that gays are the cause of the downfall of many civilizations. And, I wrote him back and said that was absurd. And then he kind of changed it. He said that the historical evil nations accepted gays and gay marriage and things, which of course is completely unsupported by any evidence. But my point of this video is to show how stupid people can get when they're blinded by their bigotry. He would bring up that Egypt and Greece were evil nations because they were both anti-Semitic, and their acceptance of homosexuality proved their evil and caused their downfall because they're not here today. Well, first off, both Greece and Egypt are still here today, but yes, I'll agree they're not those empires they once were. But what is? I mean, let's be honest, both Greece and Egypt lasted a long time. Longer than any modern nation has lasted. Longer than the U.S. will probably last as a nation the way it is right now. Longer than the Soviet Union lasted. So, was it any one specific thing that brought them down, or was it just time? But by all means, there is no evidence that the acceptance of homosexuality had anything to do with the downfall of those nations. I mean, it was just time. And I mentioned that to him. I said, this is kind of silly what you're saying. So then he brought up, well, wasn't Hitler a homosexual? Let's set aside that Hitler targeted Jews, homosexuals, and gypsies for his termination. Set that aside. And let's go with the premise. Let's say Hitler was a homosexual. Does that necessarily have anything to do with the Holocaust? He was a vegetarian also. Does that mean that he killed all those people because they ate meat? I mean, it's ridiculous. He had a mustache. Did he kill all those people because they didn't have mustaches? It's the stupidest damn thing. He had other reasons to do it. And homosexuality was not one of them. Or at least there is absolutely no evidence to even persuade that argument. So it was an absolutely ridiculous argument that this Japanese leader was bringing up. But it just goes to show how a bigot is so blinded with his hate for a group of people that he will grasp at straws and not even recognize the error of his ways. You would think while this Japanese leader guy was typing this shit onto the keyboard, he would have stopped and said, fuck, this is ridiculous what I'm writing. This is, this is absurd. Because, I mean, it's so easily beaten. But obviously he didn't if he sent it to me and opened himself up to a total verbal ass-kicking. People, stop with the nonsense about making excuses for your bigotry. At least have the courage to stand up and say, I don't like gays just because I don't like them. They make me sick. Just have the courage to stand up and say that, because you know what? That's all it comes down to in the end. The idea of a guy blowing another guy makes you sick, so you hate that group. Don't try to candy coat your bigotry. Don't try to hide it behind something else. Well, I hate them because they molest children higher than anybody else. No, they don't. Don't say you hate them because every nation that accepted them fell. That had nothing to do with homosexuals. Don't say that you only hate gays because the Bible says to do it, because that's not true either. You hate them just because you hate. Have the courage, have the honor of standing up and being honest and just admitting you hate them because you do. Not for any other reason.